Hi everyone, it's Rita Peterson with Everything Homemade, and I'm going to just do a video basically on a couple of key things that I learned this year while homeschooling my children. Now, if you haven't been following my channel, I have 5 children, the youngest being 4.5 years old and the oldest being 10. So there's a lot of grades, there's a lot of busyness where everybody still needs mom. My oldest 2 are definitely work basically by themselves with some teaching at the beginning, but the other 3 really still need mom guidance a bit. And so, but I learned something really important that I want to share with you. And since I am pregnant with number 6 right now, it's a good reminder of how children all learn differently. And I want to share an important concept that I learned this year, and maybe it might be able to be used with other children, and maybe you are experiencing the same thing. I'm not too sure. But when I start teaching my children, I start teaching them at age 3 or 4, depending on where they're at in their learning. And I'm basically teaching them the alphabet and the numbers. With the alphabet, I'm teaching them A to Z and all the sounds, uppercase and lowercase. I'm also introducing blending. So let's say you have the word, cup. Okay, let's say I have the word cup. They start learning to go, instead of going they go cup. So they start learning to blend a consonant and a vowel together, which is really important on sounding out words, if they can start blending or start practicing blending. So with my other 4 children, it went really smooth. I mean, they caught on just like that. We had no problems. And then my 5th child, Annika, she, for some reason, I could show her a flashcard or an alphabet or letter on a page or write it, and she could always tell me the sound. She could never tell me the letter name. So if I would say, "What is this?" she would say, "Ah," which I'm actually looking for. It is an A. So she would never be able to tell me what the letter was, only the sound, which is usually the exact opposite. Usually the child can tell you the letter and most of the sounds, but have a harder time memorizing the sounds over the name of the letter. That's what I found with my other four children. So it kept on going, and repetition after repetition after repetition, we still had this stumbling block where she would see the letter, identify its sound, but never identify its name to things. And it's important to know both. So what happened was, instead of getting really frustrated with the child, and you never want to do that. You never want to get frustrated with them because that doesn't promote learning. And so I basically was teaching her one morning, like I always do, really helping her, trying to, on repetition, this is an A, this is a C, this is an E, and so forth and so on. What I discovered on one lesson was that I don't know what caused her to say it, or what was the catalyst behind it. I can't remember. But what I do remember, it was October, and we were learning the letter D. And so we were actually working with a book. So we were working on how to write the letter D, learning its sound, and other words that start with D, like dad or duck. And I was going through these things, and I like to teach in a very fun manner, so we're going through these in a fun way. And she goes, "Mom, that's Mr. D." And I said, I kind of followed along with her, and yeah, Mr. D, sure. And after that lesson, we went through it again the next day because we were still on D. And she goes, Mom, Mr. D. And it was the first time that she actually said the name of the letter that we were learning. And so I stepped back after teaching her that day and thinking, going, that's it. What she needs is a name to each letter. Something that clicks in her brain to at least get the name down. So after D, I started to, every time we introduced a new letter, we would give it a name. So, and she picked the name. I never picked the name because it's important for the child to pick what they want it to be called because they'll memorize it better. And so I asked her, okay, we're learning A today, and went through a whole bunch of A words, and she wanted to call it Alligator A. So after Mr. D, we started to make sure that the name actually started with a letter. And because Mr. D was introduced just because she wanted to call it Mr. D and it kind of started things off, I didn't change the Mr. Even though Mr. starts with an M and not with a D, but she memorized it and I just kept it like that. So we had Alligator A. And then we had Camel C because she likes camels. Mr. D. Eggy E. Giggly G, just to name some of the ones that she picked out. Tricky T was because we had turned to the T's and it was trying to find the T's in a picture, and it was Tricky T after that. Sunny S. So we had names for all the alphabet letters. And what happened was, as several months went through, she started to go, hey, Mom, that's Sunny S. Or, Mom, that's Octopus O. Or, all these names. But she started to actually read me the letters. Now, 6 months of doing that, where are we at? Well, now 50% of all letters she just calls an S now or an A. And sometimes she begins with Alligator A and then she says A, but she's at least, her brain has memorized it in a way that she understood. And I did the same thing with the numbers. And the numbers, she had great difficulty. Again, she could count like crazy. If I would tell her, where's the 1, she would point to it. Where's the 5? She would point to it. Where's the 9? She would point to it. Where's the 10? Where's the 11? Where's 15? Again, she would point to it. But if I showed her on the ground playing games, what number is this, Annika? Complete blank. Complete blank at the beginning. But if I say, out of all these cards, there'll be 10 cards on the floor, where's the 5? Bam, right there, Mom. So her brain is wired a little bit differently, and it's just a matter of understanding what we needed to do to get her memorizing and remembering what they were. So we had number 1, she caught on pretty quick after a while, so that was no big deal. Number 3 really was difficult for her, and number 3 flew like a bird. So anytime I said bird, she knew it was number 3. She could pick it up because of the wings. If you look at a number 3, it's like this. It's kind of like a bird in the air. And number 4, she really liked a fork. Depends on how you write the number 4. Looks like a fork on top with the and number 5 was a big guy with a belly, with a snout, kind of had a snout with a big belly. It kind of just reminded her, we just made something out of the numbers. Number 7 was, all I had to say was Mom's favorite number, and that clued into number 7 on how to memorize it. Number 8 was a snowman. Obviously, it kind of looks like a snowman. Number 9 touches the sky just because it's up on high, and it seemed to click to touch the sky. Number 6 was touching the ground. So there's just tricks, and I kind of make it up to what the child likes to memorize or works with its brain. And let me tell you, I mean, it took last year to introduce all the numbers and this year to finally nail them down, where now if I put all the flashcards, she could actually tell me the names to things. So we made huge progress, and with fun. That's the key as a mom or as a teacher or as a father teaching, is work with your child. Step back. When you have a really big stumbling block, step back. I didn't pick up another book to read what other parents were doing. Just step back and listen to your child, because more and more that I step back and go, hey, you know, how can we solve this? What's going on? Your child will tell you in a different way if you're paying attention. And look at how that child's learning. Don't compare that child to any of your other children, because every child learns differently. All 5 of mine learn differently. And go, okay, we have this stumbling block. How can we get through it? And it never happened overnight. Let me tell you, we started school in September. It is at the end of May. We are done school officially for the summer, so they have June, July, and August off. It took all the way to April. And let me tell you, I was so excited when we were going through the alphabet and she was just saying just the letter name on 50% of them, and the other one she still carried on the name. But as she gets older, that'll just naturally go away. She won't call alligator A. She won't call A alligator A anymore. It'll just be A. But it helped her at the beginning to memorize it, and just working with the child, that human touch to help them out to grow and to understand is critical. And listen to your child. A lot of times your child has those hints, and if you're paying attention, you will discover them. And I hope that that helps some parents out. Maybe it's a neat idea that might help your child out, and just work with them and have fun with your child. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.